Hey everybody, we're back. The last video I left, it said might have to replace my wheel tubs. Yeah, I do. Show you why, and I think I showed you before, but I've got not even a finger's width right there, even though the car's down as far as it would, or the tire in, yeah, anyway, whatever. That's not enough room. So I currently have 36s in there. I'm gonna go with 40s, and as you can see, I've been playing around, cut my wheel tub, lengthened it like 4.5 inches, and yeah, that's, that's just filler little panel idea. Anyhow, so the only thing I'm keeping, the whole quarter panel gets replaced, I'm keeping that right there. So I'll have to, again, redo this again, but practice makes perfect, so maybe I won't have to replace stuff. So what I am doing currently is laying out my centerpiece, which is this piece right here. And hey, I don't know if you saw this, but this is, again, a practice piece, my little mini tub. I'm kind of proud of it. Everything works out well. And it shows that I can make my own tubs now. So all my measurements are off, this was supposed to be 12 inches, it's 12.5 because you gotta add and subtract for the radius, blah, blah, stuff, and I don't completely understand it, but I can see I've made notes, cut 1/4 inch short, which that's what I did. This is supposed to be, it's a 40-inch tub, but I cut it 39 3/4 because when you add this radius, it brings it out 1/4 inch. This one brings it in a little, not a lot, I guess, but so it would make it wider, and I don't want any wider than 40. I'm pushing in my luck there. So, and then the same thing when I measured to do this, I wanted it in the center. Well, this was the center, and well, I forgot about the radius and what it adds to it. So that's where we are. I'm laying this out, and I've got a lot of scribble scratch, and when you're trying to do a circle, use something that doesn't stretch. So I'm gonna keep looking at that, and I'm gonna double check everything and get right back with you. Ready, set, go. Yeah. No. Whoopsie. Gonna hurt. Okay, back. So went ahead and checked things. I just cut it. And actually what works well for cutting a big radius like that is this right here. So was able to just kind of just nibble and go slow, and it worked out. So next thing I have to do is go over to the shrinker and shrink on this edge right here. So when you do a radius, you're pulling the metal together. You're making it smaller in a sense. So you got to shrink the edge a little bit. I didn't do that on this at first. I was having problems with it, this piece, and it was getting all buckled and twisted until I started shrinking, and then it started straightening back out. So I'm gonna shrink first to a point and then run it through my rollers and go from there. So see you in a minute. Okay, we're gonna try some shrinking. Not shrinking, we already did the shrinking. I'm gonna try some, whatever that's called. Radius. Holy mackerel. So we'll do a little at a time here. And this edge goes all the way in to this backer right here. And then we slowly twist her down until we start getting an edge. A radius, I mean. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's all the way up. Why that's not going up. Well, here we go. There's nothing. Got to keep pressure on it this way, but not too much. You know, it's a constant fight. It wants to push it out, just like that. This big old piece of sheet metal, gonna be fun. The bolt was hitting my table. Anyway, let's try some more. That's not doing anything. If that would quit sliding around, it would help. Okay, well, I'm gonna fight with this a whole bunch more, but you get the idea, little by little. Because I've got some issues. I've got slides on this thing, they easy slide it in and out, but now it slides in and out too easy. When I put pressure on it, as you can see, it moves everywhere. But anyway, we'll be right back. Okay, been doing some fighting. It's a good old shoulder chest workout. Trying to keep that pushed in there and rolling nice and even. So far, I'm gonna show you. Remember when we shrunk it before and it curved this way? Well, now it's curved this way. So I need to go back to the shrinker, and I probably should have shrunk this more, but again, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go back to the shrinker and try to get this bow pulled back out and actually get it going back the other way, because I got some more curving to do here. It's not quite all the radius, so back in a minute. Okay, went back to the shrinker. Really cranked down on this a couple of times. Got this nice bow this way. After I run it through the rollers a couple times, it's going to be either flat or going back the other way. Now I really don't want it going back the other way, obviously. So we're going to see where we end up. And I'm out of breath because this takes some work. So you can, I guess, watch me fight with this for a minute. Since I got fresh battery and it's on video. So yeah, just looking at the back of the camera. All right, let's fight with this stuff. It's crazy how it does that, you know? Okay, I'm not going to crank it down. I'm going to roll it back over because I distorted this from stretching. Just get it back in shape. This little area right here really wants to be a pain in the butt. And yes, I'm holding the bead roller and this piece of sheet metal at the same time, trying to feed it through. Now I know why those big pro shops, when you look at their bead rollers, they're just ginormous. And they weigh so much. I converted this one from a little hand crank one, if you remember from some of my other videos, and how fun that was, just to run a bead and crank it and hold something this long at the same time. So, got the motor off of eBay. And the key to that is a really high torque motor. Okay, we still have a little bow in that, and I didn't even tighten it down. So this will be fun. Have to turn. Get up in there. All right. So, okay. Now we got a bow that way. I don't know if you can see it. Not with my hand in the way. You're not gonna. We got a bow going this way. So, I'm really close. I'm going to run this through one more time. See where we end up. Well, as I get to this point right here, it's just nice and smooth. At other ends, it's fights and fights. Okay, well, got a bow back in it. You know what that means. Or shrinking time. Okay, back from shrinking. Wow. But that's what we want. When this radius starts coming around and you start shrinking and pinching that little edge, it really dramatically changes things. I mean, you'll actually see the panel just go, and you're like, oh, wow, did I do too much? But nope. We'll see in a minute. Okay, now remember, it's like this. Watching that panel change. Now look, slight little dip to it. Now I'm basically, I'm gonna do a quarter turn. I'm basically as far as we need to go. Just need to run this through a few more times and get her finished, get it flat so it's consistent, so I'm not fighting it, pushing it in. It should just roll right through. So I'm gonna do that. See you in a minute. Yeah, I want you to see this as best you can and as best as I could get the camera up here. Right in here, how far up the sheet metal is, it's right up into that groove. And all I'm doing is guiding and it's feeding itself. I'm not putting hardly any pressure on it at all. And camera's about ready to fall off. So that's the way it should be. Now, let's set that down there. We're going to look at where we are this way. We got a slight bow to it. And we're going to put it over here on the flat table, see where we are. And it's pretty flat. Right there is probably stretched a little bit too much. I feel a couple of dimples in it. Feel some dimples all the way around, but no, if it's not stretched, I don't mean stretched, I meant shrunk. So when you squeeze this edge, it pulls it this way, so it's going to round it like that. So I might hit it with a stretcher a tad, or maybe run it through the bead roller a couple times and see where we are. It's very important that that's flat, so otherwise it won't fit our other radius very well. So, be back in a minute. Okay, back, and yeah, I did a little tweaking, little whatever, and it's about as flat as it gets. It's about as straight as that gonna get. Yeah, okay, it's pulled up there a little bit. You can bend things some with your hands. So, I think we're gonna move on now. And that corner's down here. Watch. Oh, my stand is just out of whack. Okay, there we go. Try that again. All better. See if we can. I mean, you know, we're just talking little bits of out of shape, nothing major. I don't know how flat my table is. Well, I do, but damn, we're making that worse? I mean, the heck. Might be. Go this way. Yep, kinda was the problem, I think. There. Okay, so as flat as I'm gonna get it, and Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna move on to this piece. So I gotta get a pretty long piece of sheet metal up here on this here table. Figure out how wide I want this, how long I need to make it, because I'm gonna have overhang. Just exactly how far I don't know at the moment. It might be that far. So, or that far. We'll figure it out. See you in a bit. Okay, back. So, here we are. Measured over 19.5. The marks underneath that red line. Remember these? We used to use them cutting plywood and stuff. So I've clamped it here. I pulled it tight on that end. 19.5. And see my little note says cut on the outside. 19.5 right there. I don't know if you can even see that. It's right there. So I'm gonna snap it. And see if that works. Well, by golly, it did. How about that? Did it work down here? Sure did. Snap it again. All right. See what happened here. A little on the outside. Anyhow, now we gotta cut it. See you in a bit. Yeah, I don't like that because it's got a slight bow in the middle. Line's too hard to follow. I'm gonna try something else. Okay, so do it this way. You go along, and that's magnet. So, you know, make sure you're at a 90 with your tape measure. Makes things a lot easier. That should be 90 when they both zero out. There we go. So that works. Got me a nice sharp little pen through my line. And yes, we have to cut on the outside of that. That might actually give me, based on my last cut that I did, and adding for this outside of the tape measure, which is about a 1/16 of an inch. I can see that? It's about a 1/16 of an inch. So if I cut this right, I should actually be over by maybe a 1/16 of an inch. I'm okay with that. Rather be over than under. So we're gonna cut it. See ya. Let's cut it. Interesting. So on to more stuff. What do I have some little buckles in there for? But anyway, see you in a minute. Yeah, I wanted to show you something. So I cut that and I said it might be a 1/16 of an inch over because of, you know, that little tip there. What do I know? There's a whole videos on how to use a tape measure. But I am dead. Well, one more time. I get it straight at a 90. See where we are. So there's 19.5. There's not. So let's bring it up. No. Well, I mean, it's just might as well say it's dead on, but it's not quite ish. Maybe 30 seconds off. There, we got some light. But yeah, I'm good with that because it's that same way all the way down. That one's dead on. So send it. See you in a minute. Yeah, and I want to show you a little trick. If you don't want to do any adding and subtracting and you want to find out what half of whatever is, you know, say it's 37 and 2 and 3/8 and whatever. So in this particular case, it's 74 inches long, which isn't a hard divide to find center. You take a tape measure from one end, tape measure from the other end, and where they both meet in the middle, that's your half. That's your middle. So you notice 36, 38, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's where they match up. Get it? See? You follow what I'm saying? Anyway, thought it was cool. See ya. Hey, we're back. So, I'm doing the outer piece, and I'm going to run my beads through them first. I got my lines marked out. And it's a very long piece, and you really should have a couple people to do this, but I don't. I do everything by myself. So wish me luck. We're going to give it a shot. No, come on. Well, that was a bad idea. I'm way off to the side. I was eyeing through here, thinking that that was going to work. That was a mistake. Why that doesn't work, but it did not. Okay. Guess we'll set this thing down somehow. Oh, we got one bead. Now we got to do another one. Don't have my foot control. Come on now, you get all messed up on me. Yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake there, but it's pretty close. Good thing it's gonna be round. You won't see my drunk driving. So, all I did was, you can see, put a little bend in it, which I'm going to straighten that back out, but just put a little bit of a bead in there to give it just a little bit of strength, not much. And you can see I was not perfect. That was the first attempt. We'll put that one where we can't see it. And I'm not sure why, but I guess just the lack of pressure that I have, it didn't imprint on both sides. But again, I didn't really crank it down. You see right there, one side's got an edge, one side doesn't. I'm okay with that, kind of. Not really, but you know, in this business, you've got to accept things. And what I'm looking for is the mini tub. Here's the mini tub. The mini tub, I had a little bit more pressure, maybe not a lot, but you can see it imprinted on both sides, that little line right there. But it's okay. It'll be fine. You know, I could run it through again, but I just don't really want to mess it up that bad, or take a chance of messing it up any more than I have. Because as you can see, it's a challenge, but we got that done. And realistically, I mean, they're not going to be shiny black or anything. They're going to be covered with a coating, so you won't see hardly anything at all. So that's one. Actually, we're not doing the second one. We're going to change dyes and then do our radius. That'll be fun. See you in a minute. I'm gonna show you something real quick. How much strength those two little lines put in this sheet metal. Now, if I flip it over, doing this barehanded, which is not a good idea, but if I flip it over, I can't do that. So, why, you ask? Well, because it's kind of bent this way for one reason, and I will be sure to do my radius so it will allow it to bend this way, and it's also how I put these in here. They hump up like this, not the other way. So, see you in a minute. Okay, back. I radius this edge of this hole 74 inches, and you can see that it's got an arc going like this. So it needs to go this way in a half a circle. So you know what we got to do? A bunch of shrinking, and I got to fight this big old thing, and I'm sweating. It's a lot of work, a lot of upper body stuff. So it's all right. See ya. I'm back. Well, this has been fun, and I will be getting a stretcher shrinker stand machine that's got the old foot thingy, because I've gone back and forth on this thing, I don't know. I don't know. A lot. And as you can see, I'm nowhere near where I gotta be. So, I'm gonna keep working at it. It's probably gonna take a day. See you in a bit. Okay, back. Taking a break. So, I moved my shrinker to a better spot. As you can tell, it's kind of wrapping around, and I've actually turned it the other way, as you can see. It's a little difficult to hold it up in here and get enough force down onto it. So I've been smacking it with this hammer. Seems to be working. I did find out that my little teeth there weren't working correctly, because my rubber band that was bringing the handle back up was pushing back on this, whatever that is, and messing it up. So after that and hours of squishing it and not much really happening, I'm getting some headway, as you can see. Really just gnawed the heck out of that, and if it would have been working better, probably wouldn't be that bad. But you know, I'll put that back in the roller and get that radius back where it needs to be, and that'll straighten the whole panel back out. So it's a fight back and forth. We'll eventually win. See you in a bit. So, all right, I think I left you off as I was fighting with my outside piece of the tub, and fighting with this little piece right here on the corner of this table, and realized that I could not do that any longer. It just wasn't going to work with that big of a piece. So, guess what I did? CAC Industries. That's the top part, and here's the stand. So, we're going to get this bad boy put together. Nice piece of little plywood. It's heavy duty right there. This weighs about 50 pounds, and that weighs about 50 pounds. So, oh, here's a picture. Picture of the stand right there, if you can see. Yeah, you can see it. Anyhow, so yeah, it's foot controlled. I'm gonna get her put together and be right back at you. I'm back. Didn't take long, did it? Pretty darn sturdy. Nice, thick, heavy duty stuff. Lots of parts. Not too out of the ordinary, I guess. So anyway, there's no instructions. So, I know there's a video on YouTube of somebody putting this together. So, I mean, if I get totally lost, I will go that direction. But I think I can handle it one way or another. We'll get it. See you in a bit. Hey, didn't have to go to YouTube, but I got it together. So, there it is. Let's go from here. Looks more impressive that way. Nice, sturdy unit. This is several days later. I've actually used it some. I'm just catching up with my video. So, used it on there, got that together. Learned a lot off of that one too. But anyway, I'm going to demonstrate how this little bad boy will squish something together. I got that in way too far. See, there we go. Now it's squishing. I'm not bending that, see. Anyhow, so you see what it did? Squish things together, so it tightened that up, which would help make this come together if we need be. Now, I completely overworked this using the old ones over there. But you see how the little squishy, how it squishes it right there? Pretty cool. Hope it's worth the money. Anyway, I'm not liking how high this is, because I'm having to like step up way high versus it'd be nice if it was just right there. I'm sure that might be in an adjustment somewhere, but as soon as I move it, you know, they start coming together, and that bugs me. Anyhow, we'll work on it. Like I said, there's in the manual. So, next thing we have done in learning process of that one, and going back and touching on some other videos that I've watched, like Iron Resurrection, he rolls all his tubs first, the big rounded part. And so I bought this, couple $100, not a big deal. It's 24 inches wide, so this will fit in there perfectly because it's only 19 3/4 or something. So been practicing with it, getting it set up, and when it comes in the box, this is completely smashed. So if you order one, just be ready for that. So anyhow, been playing with it. Like I said, I got a radius out of that, or an arch, whatever you want to call it. And there we go. So I'm going to work that way. I'm going to roll it first, and then I'm gonna roll it first, put these beads in, and then put my radius in. Meanwhile, it will already be arched, and I'm thinking that will take a lot of work out of trying to having to shrink this bunch to get it to pull around. So it'll already be rounded. When I did this, it was already rounded. Of course, it was a lot smaller. So that's what we're going to do on the next one. So see you in a bit. I'm back. Hey, got my next panel cut. I'm gonna attempt to put it in that roller. This is my helper. So let's see what happens. Hopefully this works. Don't see why it won't, but you never know. All right, there's a little bit of light coming in. Now that works. Okay. Let's give it a roll. Not seeing much of a roll here, and that's not going to help it. I got to get something. A nice kink in it. Come back out. I need to open the door back up. Okay, so it's not working the same like it did on the See, the problem is since I'm by myself trying to roll this thing like that, and I can't hold it and crank on it. We'll just fight with it some more. See what happens. I've also got to tighten it up. going half a turn. See where that puts me. Gonna go another half a turn. It's a lot faster this way. That's good for it. Turn around. I think it will. Yeah, it will. Well, here's the deal. This is more like it, but that was one full turn and then put it back in, and that's what I'm getting now. I'm not sure why. Okay, now we got a tube. The ends here, not a big deal. One side's getting cut off anyway. And yeah, that's a workout. So, let's play with this for a second. If you go too far, and you kink stuff, kind of like that. Whatever. I'm gonna fight with that a lot, some more. Anyhow, I'll get that in shape, basically. Excuse me, all I gotta do is lay it on the floor. It'll take care of part of that. Maybe. All right, so now the next step is I'm gonna follow these lines on the planishing machine, the little blue one, and stretch those lines a little bit so then I can run my bead. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see in a minute. Okay, we are at the bead roller. I did not put it through the planishing hammer or the English wheel because basically that thing's a pain. So we're going to do this. See what happens. Yeah. So this is fine already. I can't see. Are you laughing yet? I need to, otherwise I'm gonna get mad. Okay. Well, just trying to figure out. Well, we'll just deal with it. I'm going to put it on my back and see what happens. You seeing a problem coming so far? Oh boy. Oh, this is a squiggle right there. Well, I see something that it didn't do. It didn't bow it this way. I'm sure glad it's round, because otherwise that'd be a crooked line to have at the moment. Really takes two people. Don't want any mistakes. Okay. Well, we got through it. So, that was fun. It was interesting. Second one went a little better than the first one. But, like I said, you can't see down this. Oh, this one was pretty good. This one had a couple little, you know, right there, maybe. Little squiggle right there. Hopefully, if I remember, I will properly place that. Make sure I radius the correct side and hide that. Well, that up there you won't see. That's up inside the car. That little squiggle you might. But if I turn it, let's see. What's this way look like? This way looks good. So there we go. You see that buckle right there? It's a slight. It's not, you see it that way, but you don't really see it this way. Well, there it is, right there, that line. It's because I couldn't hold it up while rolling it. When I let it sag down, put a bend in it. All right, I'm sweating, a little out of breath. So that's the roller. Okay, got my radius die in there, and I'm doing modification there so that bolt wouldn't hit anymore. Anyhow, the closer I look at things, the uglier they look. Double check this one more time. Got a bend in there. You can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm looking at the bead to decide what side the radius, to decide which part of the tub goes in the front where you never see it. This has a squiggly in it. And this one's got a bigger one. So, lesser of two evils. Let's put you over here, and probably won't be able to see much. This side. Yeah, buddy. Folds over on itself now, doesn't it? Come on. So the radius part is not working as planned, or, you know, I hoped. Got a lot of buckles in it because it's not shrunk up. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that, but see, buckle, buckle, buckle. That's fine. I'm going to run it through one more time. See, they don't show this part on TV, where you fight with it. Now, something I'm noticing is it's holding its shape, even though I'm trying to radius it. But you see what's happening. It won't do it, won't do it, won't do it. So now I've got to go over to this, do some shrinking, and go from there. And I'm not going to make you watch all that, I don't think. Maybe a little bit. Don't know how much I need to do here. Can't find my pedal. That thing's a mile in the air. Where the buckles are first. All right. Well, we've got it. Did take some stretching, as you can see, little bite marks all the way around, but not nearly as much as that one. So the combination of rolling it and everything, the rolling it actually helped out a lot. It didn't, when I put these beads in here, it didn't bend it this way. This way, like it did that one. I had to flatten that one back out. But I've got this nice shape. I've got this rolled over, and I've been working on it with a hammer and dolly a little bit. So we're getting that. Next up, building another back. See you in a bit. Good morning. So, dropped the camera on the floor, so I hope it still works. So I left you off, we did that part over there, not that one. And everything worked smoother by using the roller or using the shrinker and the bead roller. So I'm setting up to cut the back. Use my string, which takes a few minutes to get the right track to go. And I've got to cut this on the inside of that line. So I'm going to do all that. You've seen it before. I'm not going to make you watch again. See you in a minute. Okay, you guys, I've got the panel cut out. I'm going to shrink the edge of the metal a little bit. So then I can put it over on the radius part. Got to be coordinated when you use this thing. Did some fine tuning on it, on the shrinker. Making it a little bit easier to use. Just a tad, not much. And then after I do this whole thing, I'll go over to the radius. Okay, I'm back. We got a shrinking done, and we only did a little bit. You can see it's already curved this panel, like so. And once we run it through this, it's going to go the other direction. This is the fun part. Push and guide, push and guide. They just pop back the other way. That's okay. We'll fix it. get pressure on it. You see, this popped back the other way. It's curved like this now versus this way. What we have to do is go back over to the shrinker. So I'll do that. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back at the shrinker. Thought I'd show you what's happening. Now that's getting a little wobbly. Well, it's because I've shrunk this part. So I'm going to go all the way around here again, a little bit by bit, and it's going to take this and turn it back that way. Now this is working out much better than the other equipment when I did the other tub earlier in the video. I'm not having to press nearly as hard on this one. I bent this spring retainer, whatever it is, for the top because my top jaws were not bouncing back like they should, as well as top jaw was in the wrong way. I had to flip it around, which seems to be a common problem. And if you look at the comments on this machine in Amazon, you will see that. Okay. I do hate that the step is so high. Now I have to release it. Gotta try and keep your depth in these jaws the same, which isn't easy to do. But you see it bending. Switch legs because my ass is getting tired on the other one. Yeah, if I wanted to spend $5,000 on one of these, I could probably get the hydraulic one. Or I wouldn't have to do this way. But I'm not gonna. Gotta deal with it. Yeah, if I was building tubs every day, then yeah, I would. But I'm not. You gotta be careful. At one point, this thing really wants to start to bend. And you almost fold this thing in half. Okay, see? Now it's the other way. Back over to the radius bead roller. So, back to the bead roller, and I got the big arch, remember? So, run it through here. Get my other glove. And let's see what happens. Out. See, as we start getting the stretch, this starts getting easier. I'm not having to put quite as much pressure on it. Even though I'm grunting like I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. Let's see where we are. It's flattening out, which is what we want. Come on, come on. Get through there. Alrighty. So, that's almost straight. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see. It's pretty straight, but I'm going to run it through one more time and crank it down a bit. But there's plenty. see, it's most effortless at this point. Not too bad. Just guiding it with my hand to keep it up against the back wall right here. Okay, we have a little bow, but to be honest with you, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Let's go see if it fits. Well, I just turn you around, make it easier that way. Sorry about that. And what I didn't do is I didn't put a center line up to here, which is okay. I can still put one. It's just sitting on top. Roughly right there-ish. And if you look, that's a pretty good radius. So, don't know that we have to. I'm gonna crank it down one more time, I think, and run it through again. And I'll be back. Okay, I've got my center line lined up, measured back here. They're relatively close. All I do now is feel the edge and just kind of pull things together and push it back and tack along. You can see that doesn't line up, but like I said, I've got to, right now, pull this one up on top and make it nice and smooth like it is right here, and work my way down, and that'll be that. See you in a bit. I'm back. So there they are. Got everything all ground down, smoothed out, pinholes filled. Now what I have noticed as I run my hand over this, looks good to your eye and my eye, but when I run my hand over it, it's doing one of these. Again, it's rounded. You don't necessarily see that. Also, I noticed this line that runs down it. I'm not sure where that came from. Most likely it's the bead roller. I've got kind of the same thing over here, and I've got some big wobblies on this side. I've got to pick those out. This has the same up and down feel, at that same line. I don't have that line. Well, I see the line, I don't see the indentation. So it's got to be the bead roller die, and you see this, that's from the roller itself, not the bead roller, but the roller. That one I didn't use a roller. And that's caused from not having two people, basically. You know, a big old flopping piece of metal, you're trying to get the curve around, you let it hang, you know, and then it bends. Anyway, so realistically, this deck should probably be even with that right there, that seam. It's above this bar, but not directly in line with that seam. So if you're running it through and you're, say, letting your sheet metal flex down, it's going to pinch right here. So it's probably what I did. Learn by our mistakes. So may have to, and I've got some adjustment in this. These are slotted. I could move things out, but anyway, it's too late for that. Our damage is done. That's what body filler's for. So, like I said, and come back behind here. Got a high spot on this. Pick this stuff out. Finish it with body filler if I'm that concerned. I'm only going to see probably, you know, this much of this. Same as it was before. But that will be them. And now I got to figure out if all my measurements are correct. And they're going to fit. Like that. So, anyway, wheel tubs are done. See you on the next video when I'm putting them in.